back to my YouTube channel, and just in case you're a new subscriber and you don't know me, I'm your girl, Dorcas Iseoluwa. And I'm really glad to have you on my channel. And don't just watch the videos, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you wouldn't miss out on any amazing videos. You can also share the link to this video on any of the social media platforms. You're free to do that, and you're welcome. So today's vlog is like a part 2 of what we did the previous week. We talked about basically insecurities, how that different things can make different people feel insecure. For some people it's the color of their skin, for some people it's the shape of their body, for some people it's even how smart they are or how not smart they are. For some people it's even their names. Some people actually feel ashamed of their names. Like, different people feel insecure about different things, and that was what we discussed in the previous video. I'll advise you that you watch that video after you see this video. So I'm going to drop the link below in the description. Today I'm going to be talking about racism and tribalism. So what is racism, guys? Racism is basically discrimination on the basis of a person's race. And tribalism is different people have different ethnic backgrounds, and oftentimes they feel like these are my people, and like there's like a kind of like a segregation that happens in our minds, where even in Nigeria, like, okay, this one's Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, yes. And all those things, they're just, how do I say, well, products of influence. And different things influences how we see other people, our perspectives of other people, and how we see life generally. So this is like the opposite of what we discussed last week. It's not exactly the opposite, but some people feel insecure because of the color of their skin, but racism oftentimes comes from a feeling that you have that your race is actually superior to another person's race, and that is basically what racism is. So oftentimes people think that racism is just what white people do. No, it's not. Recently there's been a trending topic on social media about racism. People have been raising campaigns and using hashtags like Black Lives Matter. There was even a Blackout Tuesday on the 2nd of June 2020, which was like a campaign against the brutality of black people. And it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing that we're actually talking about it, and that we have come to realize the fact that nobody is inferior to anybody. And there have been campaigns in the USA, people using hashtags like I Can't Breathe because of the recent incident that happened. So George Floyd is the black American man that was brutally killed by a white police officer recently, and it sparked a lot of conversation with black people coming out to protest against brutality against black people, and it raised a lot of awareness of the daily struggles that these black people actually have to face and go through in white dominated regions. And it's really heartbreaking and disheartening. And I've come to talk about it because oftentimes we're quick to judge other people. We're like, oh, these white people, they are racist and everything. But the truth, and the funny thing is, white people are not the only ones who are racist. There are black people who are racist. Now, racism is basically when you feel like your race is superior to another person's race. And not just white people have that opinion. Black people at times too have that opinion, or they feel like one race is better, one race is bad. Something happened recently. There was this day I was going for an interview and it was raining. It was really raining, like it was pouring down. And I entered a keke with an aboki. In Nigeria, we call the northerners aboki. So in Nigeria, we have basically 3 regions. We have the south, the east, and the west. And we basically call the northerners aboki. So I entered this keke with an aboki, and when we got to where we're going, it was time to come down from the keke. And the keke man was already saying that people should get down, hurry up and everything. So the aboki was already calculating that how will I get down. He obviously didn't have an umbrella, but I had an umbrella. So I offered him. So I asked him, I said, are you going to the junction? He said yes. I said, do you want to use my umbrella? And he looked at me like, I could see the surprise on his face, and sincerely, if not until recently that I started becoming deliberate about it. It's not something I would have done. Because even me, I was surprised at myself. Like, oh wow, that's nice. And you know, we talk about racism and we're all about white people. But what about the things that you do? Like, so from my personal perspective, I feel like, oh, these guys are rough. These guys are okay. When I say these guys, I mean like majority of Northerners. They are rough. They're not educated and everything. And because of that, you just have this perspective about them. When you just see that somebody's from the northern part of Nigeria, you're just like, oh wow, okay. And tribalism is no more than that though. Like, even okay, we're the same race, but if we were different race, it's actually racism. Like, you know, more than that. So I was having a conversation with a friend recently, Wemi. Shout out to you, Wemi. And okay, we're talking about how that there was this Igbo girl that I wanted to date, and the girl just said, oh no, I can't date you because I don't even see myself marrying a Yoruba person. What if we start dating and you start getting serious? You know, I wouldn't want to break your heart and everything. There's just this perspective society has about, okay, Igbo people are greedy, they like money, they like this. The Northerners, they are rough, they are dirty, they are uneducated, they are uncultured, they are not sophisticated and everything. But you know, our Yoruba clan, even our Yoruba demons, you know, they are like the finest of them all. I don't know if I'm saying this, but you know, that's how it is. And you just have a perspective of your own tribe and your own culture, and you feel like yours is better than every other person's culture. And I feel like that's where we should start addressing the issues from, because those are like basic things, you know. You just feel like, I'm going to do, like, even growing up, you just feel like, Igbo people, okay, then I think there's this notion about Igbo people that if you marry an Igbo guy and God forbid he dies, that, you know, the family members will give you mala and they will trouble you. And we had a lot of stories, and so, you know, you just feel like, let me just marry my Yoruba boy, or I cannot stress, I don't want to trouble my life and everything. But you know, those things actually influence our perspectives of people, such that I actually got to a point where if you're not Yoruba, like, I'm not attracted to you. Like, forget. Let's even say that I saw you and I'm like, oh, this fine boy, who is he? And I just hear Nkechi. I'm like, I don't know, but I just can't bring myself to like you, because okay, I'm not saying now. I'm saying then I couldn't bring myself to like you, because I just felt like, oh, these Igbo people, no, I don't want trouble and everything, and it just informed my opinion about them. And see, the truth is, all those things are actually generalization. Okay, let's agree that, okay, they are majorly known for this, they are majorly known for that and everything, but you can't tell me that every Igbo person is greedy. You can't tell me that every Northerner is uneducated or they are rough or everything. So like, okay, so this is where the intellectual Dorcas comes in. There's something in philosophy called fallacy of hasty generalization, where you feel like, where you use one person to determine like every other person's result. You know, like when you say Africans, or when you hear black, what comes to your mind is tough, tog, probably thief, or just everything bad. And when you hear white people, you're like, sophisticated and everything. It's just like, I don't know how to say, but based on just feel, should I say phenomenon? You know, based on just, you know, feel circumstances, you generalize, and you know, that's just how it is for you, for every, and that's just how you see. Okay, let's say something is a part of a whole, yeah, and because this part of a whole is blue, you just in your mind just believe that every other, like the whole package is blue. That's the fallacy of hasty generalization. You just make an assumption. Like when I tell people that I'm from Kwara State and they just say, oh, you're Northerner. I say a lot of things, I'm like, what's that? We all have tendencies to generalize. And the truth is, we all have our bias. Like, there's something you prefer to the other, something probably pisses you off, we all have personal preferences, we all have personal bias, but you have to be deliberate in how that you ensure that those things actually don't influence, those things actually don't really affect how you relate with people. Because, you know, I was surprised at myself that Abuki, I offered him an umbrella, we walked together side by side. And you know, you just really have to be deliberate about it. And I believe that an extreme can never make it right. Because, you know, some people, because they're trying to criticize something, they go to the extreme. So I have this aunt that I love so much, and she does not like white people. She does not like them. In fact, let me tell you how bad it is. When she hears that somebody is a Yahoo boy or somebody is, you know, a fraud. When I say Yahoo boy, in Nigeria, I'll call our internet fraudsters Yahoo boys. So when she hears that somebody is a Yahoo boy or a fraudster, she's like, as long as they are not scamming Nigerians, they are scamming white people. Like, as long as they're scamming white people, she feels like it's good for them. They came to our country, they enslaved us, they exploited us, they did everything, and they should suffer. It's not like they're even as good as we are. She says also things like, oh, their skin easily sags, they're not fine, they don't have shape and everything. And you know, we feel like, oh, it's only Oyinbo people that are racist. My dear, no. Oftentimes, some of these things are actually because some people actually feel wronged, or they feel like, oh, this white people have really cheated us, they really exploited us, and they now go to the other extreme, which is now hating them and saying that, oh, they are inferior, they are not beautiful, their skin is not nice, their weather is too harsh, they don't, you know, they don't say all those things, and it's actually because of the hate that they feel towards white people. So, you know, in talking about racism and tribalism, it is something that we all have to be deliberate about. Don't look down on another tribe because you feel like your culture is better than theirs. There's no good culture. If you ever study philosophy, you know that there's no good culture and there's no bad culture. I think I learned that in philosophy or sociology or socialization. Oh god, my head is still hot. Baby. So, you know, I learned how that, you know, there's no good culture, there's no bad culture. And what you consider as good in your culture is probably what somebody else considers as bad in their culture. What you consider as bad in your culture is what somebody else considers as good in their culture. And those things are actually dependent on a whole lot of factors and, you know, information and everything. And culture is dynamic, culture is ever changing. So don't, because somebody's cultural heritage, feel like they're not as good as you are, or their culture is inferior. No culture is inferior to another, and no race is inferior to another. No culture is superior to another, and no race is superior to another. To each man his own. Yes. So we have to be conscious about it. You know, it's just like the kind of perspective that you just grew up with, and the fact that you grew up to know it, the fact that everybody accepts it as normal, does not actually mean that it is right, and it does not necessarily mean that it is good. So you as a person have to decide what your normal is and what your good is, and you have to be deliberate about that. So basically that's that for today. And next time when you see somebody, don't judge them by their culture, don't judge them by the color of their skin. Skin don't define any human. Culture don't even. Okay, culture oftentimes shapes people's character, but it still doesn't define a human. Trust me, no two people from the same culture are the same. They might have similar cultures, they might have similar beliefs and value system, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all just the same. So give people the benefit of the doubt, and you know, just relate with people like people. I would say this: treat people the way you want them to treat you. Be open-minded about people the same way you want them to be open-minded about you. When you're saying that and you're calling him an aboki, and you're saying that Igbo man, and you're saying that you're feeling in your mind like he's going, that's the same way he also has a perspective about you. Did you know that Igbo people generally think that Yoruba people are nosy people and they are cowards? Yes, and they're cowards. So, you know, everybody has a perspective about different people. So treat people the way you want them to treat you, you know, and give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't be a racist. So once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you wouldn't miss out on any of my amazing videos. And you can also share the link to this video on any of your social media platforms so that your friends and people you know can watch and learn a few things. Yeah guys,